I hope we understand each other, Mr. Scrim. A well-decorated soldier stands in the center of the town records building as you enter. The librarian, Dominic, seems rather small. "Oh, I understand you perfectly well," Dominic says. "But I don't think you're understanding my position. I am trying to find the truth." The soldier looks up as you approach, then looks back down at the bearded man. "Just think about what I said." He begins to gesture around him as he walks towards the door. "I'd hate to have to tear down this whole place." Dominic waves at you, grimly. "Hey there. Glad to see you stop by. Who knows what sort of short-sighted, lowbrow lengths that thug would have gone through to get his point across." He shakes his head, and then fluffs his beard. "It's just a difference of opinion, though. In my research, I've apparently asked the wrong people the wrong questions. It's amazing how reactionary, thick-skulled people can get about what's written down on a piece of parchment. It's not like anyone's going to even read this little text of mine." Dominic coughs. "Well, except you, of course. Is that why you've come by? I've finished up the broad history if you wanted to take a look. As human civilization expanded across the continent, two major changes occurred. The first was that merchants grew into prominent positions within the cities due to wealth gained from lucrative trade routes, both within human civilization and with other races. The second change was that the wilds, which were once so dangerous, became much less so, especially in the center of the continent, as areas were converted to farmland, and peace was made with the surrounding races, in one way or another. The military taxed the trade heavily across the continent, and the merchants grew more and more resentful, as larger portions of their earnings were demanded for less justification. The military did nothing, and grew fat off the work of others. This all came to a head in the capital, when the leader of the Merchants' Guild, Simon Wainwright, organized a coup of the city's military by hiring an entire army of mercenaries with the guild's money and taking control of the city's keep. Very little force was actually required, as the city guard was outnumbered and woefully undertrained. The siege of the keep lasted less than 2 days, not nearly enough time for reinforcements to arrive from the surrounding cities. Once in power, the Merchants' Guild quickly won the favor of the citizenry with sweeping social changes, allowing for a great many freedoms and relieving them from the heavy taxation of the military. Once the commoners were on the side of the merchants, there was little hope for the military of regaining control, at which point the mercenary army was no longer required, and the military was offered a decent salary to continue keeping watch over the city. After the capital was reformed, the merchants' revolution spread outward from there, quickly deposing the militaristic rule across the continent. As of the writing of this document, only one city remains under the governance of a military presence: Gloomhaven. Next, I really want to get into the development of Gloomhaven and this clash between the merchants and the military in the city, Dominic begins. But as you can see, the military isn't all that happy about it. Dominic hesitates. "I was hoping you could all do me a favor, actually. In order to continue to put my pen to paper, I think I'd better get the backing of a powerful merchant to keep me safe. They're all sympathetic to me getting down this history, of course, but they're a little hesitant to publicly support the venture. I'm hoping you could do some convincing for me. You might have the most luck with Councilman Greymare."
Oozing Grove. Kill all oozers and destroy 3 trees. Enemies: Forest Imp, Giant Viper, and Ooze. Welcome to one of the hardest quests in Gloomhaven.